Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm getting toast out of my teeth. Hope you guys are all doing good. Happy Friday. It is the weekend, mostly, you know. I actually spent yesterday painting the front steps of my porch. So that was a fun adventure. Oh, and this is live today. So much yarn, so little time. It is now live. You can use the link in my bio to check it out. Super excited to be releasing it. And yes, happy Friday, everybody. So, as you guys probably know, I do have a guest that's going to be joining me today. She is here, so I am going to do a quick introduction. This is Anna of the Knotty Boss, who I have been following for quite some time. One of the biggest things I admire is that she did something that a lot of people struggle to do, which is finding a niche in our community that worked for her, that allows her to, run a small business that's not super overwhelming. We'll talk about that. I don't know, maybe it is. But I've loved following her, watching her journey. So we're going to learn a little bit more about her today. And if you would like, if you have questions for Anna or things that you would like me to ask her, please be sure to pop them in the question box. So the question box is it looks like a little comment bubble, and it has a question mark in it. So you can pop your questions there, and that way I don't miss them in the chat. Okay. All right, let's bring her on. Give it a minute. Sometimes it takes a second. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. And I was going to ask the same thing, but I know that's kind of a loaded question right now. So,
I mean, I'm fine. I'm okay
yes,
personally
yes,
because I'm here. So,
yes,
but yes, how are you?
yes,
Everything's good. I'm a little nervous, so
yes.
I
Oh,
apologize.
and I already started sweating. It's okay. It happens. It
I
never
am
gets
too.
better.
My shirt is black, so you can't really see it, but it's there. And I feel like
Yeah,
my
that's what
face
I
is so
think
shiny.
this one, it's like you could totally get the sweat mark if I'm not careful, but I put on deodorant, so
That's
hopefully
good.
that'll
We can't smell you
hopefully that'll
anyway,
help.
so
Yeah, exactly. That was yesterday. I said it right before you came on, but I painted our front steps of our porch because they were just kind of in rough shape, so I put another coat of paint on them. But I was out there and I had my tank top on because it's like summer weather now
yeah,
during
yeah,
the
yeah.
day. I mean, it's really hot. So
Lucky.
had my sweatshirt on. I mean, my tank top, one of my little bralettes that I made. And my husband comes around the corner, and literally as he's coming around the corner, I'm like, whoo! I had not put deodorant on because, I mean, during the winter, I don't really get super sweaty.
Yes.
So I'm like, nah, if I forget it today, it's
Mhm.
fine. Now I need to remember.
It happens. We've all been there, so no judgment.
Yes,
I mean,
I
I'm not
like to
around
think
anyone right
that,
now, so who knows if I smell or not. I'm not gonna
yes.
admit it, but possibly.
By the way, I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Um,
It's a little
yes,
faded, but
I'm waiting to one day get mine done again. Honestly, COVID has just, and I don't know if I'm being, over the top too cautious, but it's been like 2 years since I've gotten my hair cut.
I
So I
mean,
think
it's
it's
nice to be
probably
cautious.
time.
I mean, listen, I'm on board of if people want to be cautious,
Yeah.
it's better than the opposite. So that's what I say.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's
yeah.
where I'm at. But I see everybody with their hair and I'm like, okay, I think it's time. I think maybe I can go get mine done. I think we're almost there.
I think you can
So,
do it. Just this one time, and then you can come
right.
back. Yeah, I'm trying to blend in with my surroundings. That's why it's green.
Yes. No, but it looks really, it's all like a teal. It's very
Yeah,
pretty. I
it was
really
green
like
at
it.
one point, but it's faded a little, so it's more of
Yeah,
a.
but it's a nice fade. Sometimes your hair fades and you're like, oh,
My
I need
stylist
to do
does a good
something.
job. She knows what she's doing. So
Yeah.
because I take no credit for this. It's not. I have nothing to do with this. So
Well, and I won't bleach my hair at home. So I need to find somewhere because, we just moved to a new area. So
yes,
I have not found any of the big service people that I need to find yet. Um, and so I want to get it lightened. And that's what my hairdresser's like, don't call it bleaching. We're not bleaching. I was like, okay,
there's
lightened,
all
but
these
like lightened a
terms.
lot. Yeah.
There's all these terms that I like we can't use. I didn't know there were people like don't like using like bleaching and uh
Hmm.
do people even get perms anymore, or is it something else now?
Yeah, I don't know. But I want to get it I want to get them to handle the lightning and then I'll put color on at
Yes.
home. I don't mind doing that. That's not a problem. But literally this is
So long.
this very bottom part is all that's left of the last time it got
Oh, wow.
lightened and then this is just the but it's not too because yours is so dark. That's what I mean, that takes a lot to lighten that.
Yeah, this is like my root. It's been a while since I actually lightened it because you can see like the color starts here.
Yeah.
But she does such a good job blending it in that even though it grows out, it doesn't look terrible. You don't have that like definition, like that line. So. Oh.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and give people, anyone who maybe is not following you, doesn't know who you are.
I just realized I missed all the comments.
Oh, no worries.
The first one, and I'm like, oh no.
No, and don't get too worried about the comments because I know there are usually a lot. Yeah. Yes, we have 30 people on right now. It's really exciting. So thank you everyone for joining in.
Why are you all at work doing productive things?
It's lunchtime. This is why I do them now.
Good point.
I have a lot of people who literally say like working and lurking. That's like a catchphrase, so they'll be at work and they'll just put their headphones in and listen.
That's a good one. You need to make a shirt with that.
Right, exactly.
I want that. Next.
So who are you? What do you do? And what's a basic,
Oh, your team is awesome. You did a good job welcoming me and introducing me. I feel like, what else can I say? But yes, I crochet. I'm a graphic designer professionally, but I started crocheting and combining both kind of led me to start creating my new printables, or not new, my printables, marketed more towards like crocheters or created with crocheters and knitters in mind. Obviously, other handmade, I guess, makers and stuff can use them too, but since I am more into fiber arts, I feel like, I have a little bit more knowledge, and I figured just niche down, very specific. So that's what I do. I do freelance design and all the Knotty Boss stuff now as I don't want to call it full time because it's almost like half the time one thing, half the time the other, but
it's all freelance, right? So you don't like go into an office right now. It's
anymore.
really okay.
Yeah, I used to work in office for 15 years. So it's been like about 3.5 years since I've been working for myself, sitting at home all day.
Better? Do you prefer it most days?
I don't know. I can't, if I'm going to be honest, I'm not that self-motivated. It's hard for me. If it's for a client or something like that, I am on it. But if it's just something that, I thought of myself and I don't have a deadline and I can kind of slack a little bit, I do sometimes. So it's nice to be kind of forced into a structure sometimes. I feel like I might operate better, but so far I'm not hating it. I enjoyed it. Now I'm okay with it. We'll see what happens in a little bit. And, just because also I'm not only with COVID, but with everything, I'm just home all the time. So
that can get kind of, And because you have any animals or anything?
I don't have any animals. But maybe I should get one.
Start with like a cat, they can take care of themselves most of the time.
Like we don't live together. So, I only see her on weekends, but which is, it's great. But sometimes when you're, need a companion all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't want the mess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, cat, that's what one of my friends, actually our neighbor has a cat, and he brought it outside one day and I was like, my God, that cat looks scared to death, like clinging to his shoulder. And he was like, yeah, but I really want this cat to be an indoor-outdoor cat because he doesn't want to have a litter box, so that way, like the cat can like just go outside, do its business, come back in. But I guess you have to be somewhere that the cat could go outside and do their business. I don't know if you're in a house or an apartment. I was like, apartments, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm in an apartment. I'm on the 6th floor.
You can see them, like the cat
climbing down,
rappelling down off the side of the apartment.
I'll create like a little one of those, like just hang a rope with a little bucket and just like lower it down all the time. But like don't cats land on their feet? So I feel like they should
Right?
be fine, right?
Just toss it off the, oh yeah, I'm not going to say
Just
that. Never
kidding.
mind. People are going to come after
We
me.
love cats.
Y'all, I have a cat. I love cats.
And you have
Mine
a
will
dog too,
probably
right?
jump up here.
Little
Yes, we have
miniature pupper.
two. Yeah, they are not allowed in the house anymore. I mean, unless it's, bad weather or
Yeah, yeah,
cold.
yeah.
We downsized quite a bit, and our dogs would probably knock everything in the house over if they came in because there's just not quite enough space. Um, and so they are like, 95% outdoor. And
Okay.
then if it gets into the 40s or if it's like bad weather, they have their own little setup in the basement where they've got their second set of beds,
That's nice.
bones, toys. It's like the basement,
Right.
hangout.
That's
So,
nice.
but they're good. They have a great backyard. It's a better backyard than it was before, so they get to play a lot more. So I feel good. I was really nervous. I was really nervous that I was going to hurt their feelings, and that they were going to be sad because they couldn't come inside.
How are
But
they?
so
Are they
far,
adjusting?
yes, they seem so happy. So I was like, okay, I feel good about this
Okay.
change.
So where are you now? How
And
far did you move?
not very far, one state away.
Oh,
So
okay.
we were in Georgia, now we are in Alabama. But we grew up in Alabama, both of us.
So you basically
So,
went home.
yes,
That's
so
nice.
closer to family. Our parents aren't getting older. I mean, everybody's parents are getting older,
Right.
but it's not that kind of situation. They don't need anyone to take care of them. Um, but we were working for ourselves in Georgia, had no family in Georgia. The housing market was good, so we were like, there's no reason to stay. If you don't have we didn't really have a community
Hmm.
there. We were there for jobs.
Yep.
And since we started working from home, there was no reason to, you know,
Yeah.
stay there. So now we're home and like 15 minutes from his family.
Awesome.
So
And now
it's
you're all
good.
settled in
Yeah.
finally, right? Because
Yes.
it's only been a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah. It's been a couple months. So it's still a transition. There's still a lot to do, but, we're definitely, this cat is trying so hard to like jump up in front of me
Let's
onto the
do
table. Like
show
he's
and
standing
tell.
there looking and I'm
Let's
like,
see
it's
the
not going to
cat.
happen.
Let's
Let's see if he'll come over here. I'll pick him up. Come here. I know you're back there. I can't see you now. Where'd he go? Yeah, I think he might have actually walked out. Did he? No, he's over here. Come here. Come here.
now he's shy.
Yeah, now. You can come over here. I'm trying to get him where I can actually get a hold of him. There you are. Let's do show and tell.
Does
This
he like
is
to
the
be picked up? Oh,
kitty.
beautiful. Look at that.
He allows it. He doesn't enjoy it very much, but he doesn't fight it too hard right away.
Good. Adorable. Look at the little socks.
But there's a window right here, and so
Okay.
he'll jump up on my work table and sit at the
Because
window.
obviously
So
you're in the way of the window. Why would you put your
yes.
desk in the way of the window?
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So, but he's a good cat. So, okay. So
All
we
right.
had a ton of people that were already saying how much they love your printables.
Who are
So
these crazy
I just in
folks?
the comments, and
I can't even go back and read them, can I?
I know
That's
it's
not an
really
option? That's weird. Oh, wait.
it's difficult. It always like I have a lot of trouble trying to like scroll through the past comments.
I know. That's not going to work.
But there are quite a few people who said they
Thank
love them.
you.
And I was wondering, how long have you been making those printables? Like, when did you start making the crochet printables?
So I released my first printable in January. I think it was like end of January of 2019.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah. A
like three
minute.
years now. Yeah, it's weird because at first it was, it wasn't that long, but now I'm like, wait, 3 years. But
Yeah.
I didn't put anything out for like a couple of months after that. It was just a price tag and a care instruction tag, like very generic. And they did well, but nothing too crazy. And
Yeah.
then my friend Rose, she messaged me and she was like, I need a cup cozy,
Hmm.
printable. And the ones I see are just like not my style. I need
Yep.
something a little bit different. So I told her I'd design her one. And after I did, I'm like, well, instead of it being just exclusively for you, how about I sell it and then I can just give it to you instead of making it yourself?
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, sure, fine. And that was it. That kind of
So the cup
catapulted
cozy,
everything.
cup cozy,
The
like launched it all.
Yeah, and then that, because I've always, for maybe even a year prior to me creating the first printable, I already had an idea of kind of, I want to do this, but never actually executing anything. And then the cup
Yeah.
cozy kind of made me think, oh, okay, maybe this is something that, I should explore. And then the next one was the scrunchie, because I've had that in my head for a while. Like I sent my friends, like little like mock-ups of it, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, make it. And I'm like, yeah, I will. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, yeah, I'm still working on it. You get excited to work on something, but then like halfway through, something else catches your eye, or like another project
Yeah.
pops up, and the one you've
It's
been
just like
working on.
crochet projects.
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
as exciting anymore. And it's like, I like starting things, but seeing them through all the way is not my strong
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah.
but like, and then scrunchie tags, like, also did really well, because at the time everybody was making those velvet scrunchies. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that was it. And I'm like, all right, I'm actually going to do it. And then forced myself to
So,
get it done.
Love Stitches All says that the
Oh,
cup
hi,
cozy is
Diane.
how she found you. Yes.
She's so sweet. I love your I love her hooks. They're beautiful.
And I have reached out to her. I told her she needs to come on one of my lives. So
She
that is in
better.
the works.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll definitely be tuning in. Oh my God,
So
she.
I feel like it's interesting because, I didn't start doing any kind of drawing until like just last year. I've got Procreate, started kind of playing around on it. And I feel like it's one of those things where if I can't sit down and pretty much not finish a design in a night, but like have it to where, okay, I really like this, I'm going to keep running with it, then it really gets put on the back burner. If I
Yes.
don't like it after a couple of hours of working on it, I'm probably going to give up on it for a little while, like a couple months
Mm-hmm.
before I return to it. And I don't know if you have that. Like if it comes together quickly, it's like, oh, this is great. But
Yes, I have that same thing all the time. And like with printables, I'm fine creating them, but I'm very particular about, I always want to have like the actual object that I'm going to use the printable with, because I want to test it. Even if it's something I know that will probably work, I still have that, it's like, I guess the designer, like the school, when we went to school, like that's what they instilled in us, like test everything just to make sure, because
yeah,
even if you think something's going to work, you never know. There's like other variables that could come up. And it's that part that I'm like making something for it, or then having to photograph, or like making the actual listing. That's what holds me back a
yes.
lot of the times, where I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I finished the fun part, then doing the other part, it's not really, if I can't get it all done right away, I don't know when it's going to be
Yeah.
finished. So yeah, I either have to
Tessa
do it.
Tessa is here too. She's saying hello.
Hi,
I
Tessa.
know, I know you guys know each other too.
Yes.
She's going to be coming on at the end of March. So
Oh,
I'm finally
awesome.
getting like a
That's
lineup. I'm like,
amazing.
okay,
You
I
will have
actually
like,
have.
yes, I'm liking this lineup.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
That's awesome.
It's been so much fun. It's been really fun. And, as you know, I do the Zoom first. So I get to actually like really
Mm-hmm.
connect with you guys before we go on the live. So that feels a little bit better. And I'm hoping to kind of do follow-ups because I feel like some of you guys, it's just so easy to talk to you that, we could just do a chat like what's happening,
I'm always in.
in live.
Yeah. I'm only done like, this is my second Instagram live. So any other one, because I'm like, I'm always nervous
Yeah.
to just do it by myself, but I'm like, I'll go on. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'll chat.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah, it
how.
does make it easier. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been going live now for a couple of months. I don't think it's been a full year, but just going live by myself and, it's once a week. And so sometimes I'm like, oh my God, nothing cool happened this week. So I'm going to be super boring, but people join in. So I'm like, I've, something to say.
Yeah, people care. People want to know. It's even if you don't think it was anything exciting, it might
Yeah.
be something, interesting for other people.
Yep.
So,
And you never know what comes up. There are definitely things where I'm like, I don't plan to talk about anything specific, but then, a topic will come up. So that can be helpful.
yeah.
Um, So I would love to know, outside of your printables, do
Yes.
you do designs? Like, do you do logos? Do you do web
Yes.
design? Like, what are other things that you've done, even within the crochet community for
Okay.
people?
So within the crochet community, I have done a lot of logo design. I should probably be posting them, or at least, showing them off. But because I kind of started my crochet page separate of my regular work, I always kind
Mm-hmm.
of keep the two separate a little. But now that, it's incorporating other makers and things like that, I feel like maybe they're flowing together. I don't know. But yes, logos, I've done custom printables and custom like packaging.
Yeah.
Um, Basically anything. I'm more of a print design person. I can design for
Mm-hmm.
web, but it's not my preference.
Yeah.
But or people have asked for things like, social media banners, graphics, like icons, things like that I can also do, which I do love. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
but logos have definitely, especially in the crochet, I used to say I don't prefer to do logos in my regular freelance. I used to turn down a lot of logo projects, but for some reason for like the fiber community or just the maker community, it's been a little different. Maybe it's because, I have a different connection to it. So I've been doing a lot of those, working on I'm supposed to finish one after our call today. So
Yeah. Do you, somebody was asking if you have any, do you have any samples of your stuff sitting around you by chance?
uh sitting around me, I would have to pull them up. You can go, if you just go in my link tree, I link to my like design portfolio. It doesn't have any of the recent
Hmm.
logos that I've done, but it has like my overall design.
Yeah.
So you can see,
Someone
and
was asking, and you guys can go to her IG page for the
yeah,
all the
definitely.
labels
And if
because
you would
it's full
like,
of them.
if somebody's interested in logo design, you're welcome to email me and I can always send samples and things like that. I probably should create some kind of a page that shows all the recent, but it's, one of those, add another thing to the list of stuff that I should do for my business.
Yep.
That like, yes, I want to do it, but it's like, am I going to ever? I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And once you commit, then you feel, I think it gets overwhelming. Like I've been wanting to start an Instagram page just for our hooks because I get a lot of people who like, tag us and I don't tend to share. I'm like, I'm going to post once a day and that's enough. That's more than enough for me. And I was like, I know that if I started, it'd be great because I could share more of like other people's photos when they tag me. Um, and it's just another way to get found, like I'm
yes,
like,
of
it's all
course.
good for SEO and all that great stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like once I start the page, then I'm committed and I'm going to need to post regularly on that
Hmm.
account too. And I feel like just that idea gets a little overwhelming.
Oh, it
So
sure, it definitely,
maybe one day.
maybe, I guess it was about a year ago, I have like a personal Instagram page that I just started posting all the pictures of my plants. I'm like, oh, let me turn
Hmm.
it into like a plant page instead because
Yeah.
I didn't really post anything personal there anyway. So I'm like, okay. And at first it was fun because I didn't have to obsess over it as much as I do
Yeah.
over like my Fiverr
Hmm.
page. Um, but then shortly after, maybe a month into it, I found myself doing exactly the same thing, like trying to stage things rather than it being like a casual, just
Yeah.
like, here's a snapshot. And then I realized, what did I get myself into? And then I haven't posted
Uh,
since like August, I think. I was like, this is
yes.
too much. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
supposed to be for fun. But I still wanted to look nice because that's what I do. I'm a designer.
Uh-huh.
How can I have a page with, a grid that doesn't look perfect?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it became something that it shouldn't have been because all here is just a lot of crazy.
So how many plants do you have? Do
uh
you know?
I don't know exactly right now, but I would say around like 83 to
Oh my
87.
gosh. That's like mind blowing.
See, I would say that if you were talking to me like 2 years ago, I'd be like, oh my god, that's a lot. But now that I'm around 83 plants, it doesn't seem like it's that much.
See, you don't need animals. You you
No,
have
that's the
83
thing.
plants.
Every day I'm like walking around seeing which one needs watering, which one needs
Yeah.
something else. It's
Someone said you're a crazy plant mom. I
oh,
just
a
saw that
hundred
comment. Yeah.
percent. I did not see it. Why aren't the comments coming up?
This was let's see.
I
It's
don't.
Mama Llama Crochet.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
she's a crazy plant mom. Yep.
what's up? We met at the retreat, Maker's Retreat in October. She has a
And
crazy. Oh, sorry. Go
let's
ahead.
see. No, you're good. Snag and Snout says stay at
Oh,
home plant mom. She also said she loved her logo. She, he, I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
oh,
I
yes, it's
always say
fantastic.
she to everyone. So I
I
hope
feel
that,
like a lot of at least like a lot of people, I mean, I look at my stats too. I think 99 point like
yeah,
7% of my
same.
followers, it says, I mean, I don't know, who identifies as who,
Yes,
but you
exactly.
know, at least that's what Instagram is telling me. So I'm just
Uh-huh.
assuming a lot of us are a she,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not everyone, but
I
yeah,
told my husband that once
nostalgia.
because he used to be worried when I first started posting photos of myself. He's like, I don't want everybody, all these guys seeing you. I was like, do you know how many guy followers I have? Like 0.1%.
They're like, what are they
So,
seeing?
yeah.
They're seeing me sit on the couch and crochet and think
Yes,
like I'm a grandma.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
Okay.
like, you never know. You
No.
never know. I was like, yeah, I know, but it's okay. It's okay.
Did
We're
he
good
think you're going
now.
to show provocative shots of crocheting?
He
That's
told me
maybe.
once, he was like, maybe that's the way to get more followers. I was like, honey, that's not going to happen.
You never know
That
if
is
you don't try.
not my thing. That's true, but not really my thing. I still don't post. Like, I have the cutest little bralette. I started making these bralettes. I'll show you like a sneak peek, but it's so
Oh,
bright and pretty. And then
oh,
I don't
I'm
have
going
no
like
boobs.
this, like I'm trying
So
to
I
look
know.
over it.
Yeah. But
So I look like that.
I make these little like, I mean, I feel like they're like kids bras because, you know, like I have nothing, so it just has to cover it. Um, and I never post them because I'm like, that feels too provocative. Like I feel like I need to have a shirt on. I don't know. I feel like
No, if
so
it's summertime and you crocheted a cute top,
right.
that's different, than
And some people, we've got people in Florida in the community. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I think it starts with an A, but she does all of the like super lacy. She's got like bikinis and like lacy dresses, and I can't remember, I don't know why I can't remember her name. I feel like I've highlighted one of her patterns before. Somebody might know in the chat, but she always posts these pictures of her in like these gorgeous little like, you know, even the one pieces have like the laciness and stuff,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, man, that's really cute. And it doesn't look provocative. It just
Yeah,
looks
it's
really
cute. Yeah.
pretty. I'm like, this is really cool, you know?
See? I think it's
Yeah,
all in the way
I don't
you're
have that kind of
posing
confidence
and just,
either.
all the setting and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I barely show any of my face on my Instagram.
Somebody just said put the balls placed just right. I think they're talking about like yarn balls. Is that what?
I
I'm
think so.
guessing that's what they mean.
Stuff them in if you need a little extra. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you have enough yarn.
Oh
We,
my
we,
God. No, it is to the point where it's like I really can't buy anymore. Like I did a big purchase right in January, and I said I have nowhere to put this, so this is it for a minute, you know. But the problem is I also don't sell my finished pieces anymore, and since it's all bulky yarn, I mean I've got two stacked. There goes my headphones. Like knocked my headphone off with my foot. I've got two of them stacked here because there's nowhere to put them.
What do you do with the rest of your finished pieces? Do you? Because I don't sell finished pieces
stuff them in bins.
Okay. Because
so if I
oh, go ahead, sorry.
Let's see. No, I was going to show you. If I pan down those drawers down here that are just like the little craft bins, those are all full of finished cardigans and sweaters and then the ones above it. So these have extra yarn. And then obviously if I go up, it's all mostly just yarn, you know. But all of those are finished pieces. And then I bought some bins off of Amazon for finished pieces in my closet. And then the guest room has a couple of finished pieces stuffed in one of the shelves. And then these, someone said do a sample a sample sale, iconic knots. And I have thought about doing that. I haven't had anyone give a lot of interest in buying them, but I guess I haven't really tried either.
Yeah, okay. You can always just, post a couple of stories asking people if anybody's interested and see, like, do a poll. I see a lot of people selling their finished pieces, especially like, I think, and you make a lot of garments and like large pieces where everything, well, not everything, but 99.9% of everything I make are just little things. And I have like several bins of just, cup cozies and little tiny things. I don't know what to do with them. I feel kind of bad throwing them out.
You don't go to like craft shows. You don't sell the finished. Yep.
I'm not like a proud type of person. I'm not scared to go with that, but I don't know if I could deal with customers face to face.
Yeah. It can definitely be intimidating, especially if I think that's a big oh my gosh, my dog is in the house. We're gonna go on a trip really quick because he's not supposed to be in here.
He just really wanted to join.
You can actually. There he is. Aww. Yeah, just walking around in the house, which before wouldn't have been a problem, but now like you're not allowed in here, buddy. Come on, we gotta go outside. Oh my gosh, my husband went and got dirt this morning for the garden. Come on, let's go out here. Gotta go out. You gotta go out. You gotta go. Go. Come on. Oh my gosh, he's scared of something out here. I think he's got like a generator going or something. There we go. No, you're not coming back in. Oh my gosh. There we go. All right, I gotta actually close that. I think he has like a air pump running, and that particular dog gets really nervous when there's any new noise. And he has figured out that door is kind of janky, like it just doesn't work very well. And he has figured out that he can open it if he like pushes on it with his nose.
Smart dog.
So I have to actually like deadbolt lock it. And I have a feeling that means that in a minute, my husband's going to be banging on the door because I locked him out.
Well, he's gonna have to wait.
Right. He knows. He knows.
It's all, he's only got to wait, what, half an hour?
Yeah. But with events, that was, it was because I'm super homebody. My husband and I, we pretty much just spend all of our time at home. And events were just enough of that like human interaction when I was doing them that I actually really enjoyed it because you make friends in the community, like you meet the other artists. So there were, sometimes it would be a little overwhelming if it was really busy, but, I think it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be because, sometimes I feel like I get nervous and, a little shy if I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to like read someone quickly to be able to interact with them the right way, But I really enjoyed it and especially once you figure out, because it took me about 3 years of going to shows regularly during like the fall time before I really got into a groove of like, these are my shows. These are my people, these are the shows where like I get along with everyone. I like the ambience, of the show. But it took a while, because where we were, there were a lot of shows, and I think it depends on where you're at, picking the ones that work well. Because I went to some that was like, yeah, not going to go back to this one.
That's another thing where like, it takes a while to kind of get in the rhythm, to figure it out, to like get a feel for it. So, and I also, even if it wasn't for just, me not wanting, I don't see myself being able to make enough inventory. When I started crocheting, I started making these like more elaborate cacti where I felt like it would just take too much, and it was such a specific, niche that, who knows if it would even sell. So I never ventured out to markets. And then, after a couple of years, I started doing printables, and then it was kind of like selling digital is so much easier than physical things.
Definitely.
Especially now with like issues that like USPS has been having. I'm in a couple of Etsy groups, and one of the biggest complaints is always shipping. And so, doing digital is a little bit easier in that aspect.
Yes. Yeah. I have that issue right now with stickers. Etsy finally started offering the letter mail printouts, where you, instead of, because I was hand lettering every single sticker that I sent out, like the envelope, because I didn't know how to do that. And Etsy was like, oh, we'll make it easy. And now, even though it says that it's like trackable, it's not trackable through USPS. And it's trackable through Pitney Bowes. Like, but the tracking never updates. At least it hasn't been. There's like a known glitch.
Star Seller stuff on Etsy.
So, and I didn't even care about Star Seller. Like I was like, people who buy from me know that I'm a good seller, so it's fine.
You don't care about it, but then seeing it and seeing those numbers,
I did get it. I did get it this month. This was my first month ever getting it. Nice. But it doesn't screw that up because I do get my shipments out on time. So that's not the problem. But I have like 100 orders that say they're stuck in pre-transit, and they've all arrived. Like I've had to reach out individually to everyone just to be sure, which is not bad because then a lot of them are like, oh yeah, now I can leave a review too. And I just totally forgot. So I've been getting a few more reviews from people, but I'm following up after it's been about a month, like a month out. I go back through, and any orders that are still listed as pre-transit, and it's all sticker orders. It's all letter mail. I'll just reach out and be like, just making sure your stickers arrived, and so far everybody's has. It's just, it's not loading as being delivered. So, and a lot of people, like there's people who send out thousands of orders a day, or like a week. I don't know, a day. That'd be crazy. I'm sure somebody, but they have, I might have 100 orders stuck in pre-transit. There's people that have hundreds of orders stuck in pre-transit and are having to like follow up, and then you don't have that protection of like, if someone says my sticker didn't arrive and they just want another one. I mean, and like I said, luckily I feel like most of the people who buy from me are, I don't think they would do that.
Yeah. I feel like you have good customers that wouldn't take advantage of you, but there are definitely other, shops that have to deal with people who aren't as honest sometimes. And, why not get another free set of stickers if it's easy, or people can just start a case and it could be closed, against you because your tracking doesn't show anything. And it's frustrating because you're doing everything right. Etsy is, I do love Etsy. I will say that because I know people have negative feelings about it. I understand people
I'm not
think,
going anywhere. I mean, I'm going to stick with them for
oh, I'm
now.
definitely going to stick with them. I know they just raised their price, or they're raising their
Yep.
prices next month. Um, and I know people are upset about it, which I understand because, they had a great year last year. They made a lot of money,
Hmm.
and now it's like, do
Yep.
they really need to increase, their
Yeah.
fees? But hey, they're a business. They worry about themselves. But they do provide a lot. It's a marketplace, and
Yeah.
what they do provide, I feel like, is worth all of that nonsense, at least for now. So,
Yeah.
but they do have these things where I feel like sometimes they don't have as much protection for sellers as they
Yeah.
should.
Do for buyers for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They lean
definitely
towards the
value the
buyers.
buyers, but when it comes to the sellers, I mean, now you can't even get anyone on like phone support if you have an issue as a seller. You can only get phone
Hmm.
support as a buyer, but we're the ones keeping the platform afloat,
Yep.
essentially. Like, we're the ones paying the fees technically, but I guess they think,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess everyone's paying the fees if you think about it that
Yeah.
way. But the star seller thing, I told myself I didn't care about it at first, but just seeing those numbers, it does something to your head. We're like, all right, well, I'm
Yeah.
at like 94%. All I need is one more percent. And I
Yeah.
know I don't care about it, but I'm going to try to get it just because. And
Yeah.
it like fools you into like it
Yes.
lures you into their little game.
Yeah.
And I do have it now, but it was hard at first because I'm all
Yeah.
digital. And when I do custom orders, I list it as a physical item that I just email. So it has no tracking and no
Yeah.
information. And so my stats for my shipping were at zero when this all started.
Yeah.
So I've
That's
had,
what happened to
yeah.
me when I was using stamps. So I
Mm-hmm.
would stamp the
Yeah.
envelopes and handwrite them, and because I didn't know what the options were, and you can't go onto USPS website and print off that kind of label. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
print off, I think, like stamps, but I didn't know how to like print off just a letter
Mm-hmm.
mail label. So when Etsy started offering it, I jumped on board. That helped with my star seller statistics. But like I said, I still didn't get star seller until this month. And it did feel good. It was like, well, that's cool. I mean, I think it does something. I get a lot of new orders through Etsy, like people who find me
Mm-hmm.
on Etsy. It's at least 50% or more. So people are
Yeah.
definitely searching Etsy and finding me. And I know it makes a difference. Like all my reviews are great, but I know that badge helps.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Somebody asked, and I don't know if you know them or not. Let's see. Let
Tell
me
me
go
their
back up.
names.
I'm scrolling right now.
I'm so upset I
So
can't see comments. Oh, that's Sarah. Yes. Hi.
Anna, I want to see your shirt.
Oh,
So show off the shirt. Yes, this was new for the live, right?
yes, I bought one,
Yes.
obviously. I'm from Ukraine originally. I was born there. I lived there for 12 years. So I grew up there
And that's a
essentially.
long time.
It
I mean,
is.
that's the bulk of your childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally my entire childhood. And then when I moved here, I was a teenager essentially. So then it was, different. We moved a long time ago in 95. So it's been a while, but
Yeah.
it's crazy what's happening. I don't want to derail our live, but I just,
No, and we can. Why don't you
it's
talk a little bit about, I know you've done a lot of research, the research you can do about how people can be supportive,
right.
especially within our community.
Definitely. I did add, I have in my highlights, I have a section if anybody's interested,
Oh,
that has
perfect.
resources to, if you want to help out by donating, or you can, there's different people who are accepting like blankets and anything that you can make. If you can't help financially, then you can reach out to them and, donate that way and help out. Or even just sharing information, even if,
Hmm.
that's also great because there's so much misinformation around from,
Yeah.
coming from the other side. And I just need people to be aware of
Yeah.
how dire the situation in Ukraine is right now. Um,
Yeah.
so if you can help, that's it. I'm going to leave it at
Yes.
that because
I know. I
I don't
know.
want to, yeah, it's hard to talk about. It's just,
Yeah.
and I know also there's definitely, obviously, Ukraine's not the only country that's dealing with, unrest and um, destruction and anything and everything like that. There's other places, but because I am from there, there's like a different, you have a different attachment to a place when you watch something
Yeah.
and you recognize, the places that this is happening to. It's just, there's like a different feeling. That I'm not saying like I don't feel for everyone else, but obviously if it's your home, it's, so
Yes.
that's why I've been so speaking so much more about the situation in Ukraine, just because it is so much, so dear to me. But there's also obviously, anyways. But yes, so if you want to help, just go to my Instagram highlights and find the highlight with the little Ukrainian flag and see the resources. And I'll be posting more, throughout the coming days and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes total sense. I mean, I couldn't imagine, I grew up here, but, I know there's so many people that move when they're young or were born somewhere else. You have a connection. It doesn't matter how long you spent there. If that was your home, that's where you were born, you've got that connection. And, it totally makes sense for you to be speaking out more about that than maybe other situations. I think that's pretty normal for people. It's a similar thing, I think, with the charities that people support. Usually you support a charity because something has happened within your family or to you that has made you passionate about that certain, thing that you speak out about. But I've said it before. I can't imagine what you're going through. I can't imagine what the people that are there right now are going through. And all we can do is educate ourselves on the ways that we can help. Try to make connections with people who know what's going on instead of just listening to the news. I think that's extremely helpful because I know I found over the past couple of years, I feel like I have to take the news with a grain of salt, even here. You would think like America, you're not being fed, specific things, but
no, it comes from every side. There's extreme viewpoints on every side, that, are crazy and whatever, but it sometimes gets hard to weed out information that's not accurate, but we do have access to information. And so, if it's something that's important to you, you can just do a little bit of legwork and just weed out, it's not that difficult to be able to kind of do a little research, see where this information came from, maybe, all the sources that are telling you, where they lead, and then you can make up your mind. But where other places, they're being fed information and they don't have access to anything else, and this is all they know. And that's, that's more scary because they have no access. They have no way of seeing the other, what the truth is. So
exactly. And I think that the world we live in with social media, again, I always go back and forth. Social media has its negatives, it has its positives. And I think one of the positives, it allows us to connect with people from all over the world, and to get true one-on-one, information from people who are in that situation. I know, for instance, Leto Workshop. I don't know if you recognize them, but they are a hook maker in the Ukraine. And they do like the wood lathe.
Okay, I think
hooks.
I know what you're talking about.
And they posted, and again, I don't know them personally, but they have been posting how they are, sheltering in like a basement situation. They have shoddy internet, but they've been trying to like update people. And I think that situations like that, when you realize like they're there, they're someone that, if you want to know what's happening, there are people that we are connected with in this community who have a true insight to what's happening. And I think that always, when I worked in higher education, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but when I was working with students in higher education in, colleges, universities, there were a lot of exchange students. And not exchange students, but, international students who had come over to play sports or whatever it was. And that was one of the most eye-opening experiences working with those students because, you can hear all these stories in the US about what it's like to live in European countries, to live other places in the world. One of my main things was like healthcare. So the way that healthcare is here versus in other countries. And you hear all the different stories in the US of why one is better than the other or not better than the other. But when you really talk to someone who grew up in that healthcare system, who saw their parents deal with the healthcare system, your eyes really get opened. And I think where I'm going with that is the fact that this community and being on social media, connecting with people from different countries, really getting to know them, what their experiences are like. And I feel like it's an eye-opening experience, and it helps all of us grow as people and to understand what other people are going through, or at least be more empathetic to what other people are going through. So I've loved that about this community because I've gotten to know so many different people from so many different places with so many different viewpoints. And lifestyles and, cultures and backgrounds. And I think it's can be a great thing.
I agree. I agree that I wouldn't have been able to connect with, any of the people that I've been able to form. I mean, I will call them friendships. Some of them I've been talking to, even though we've never met, in person, we've
Yep.
talked all the time. We've, for the past several years, and you do develop these friendships with people, and you trust them, you have this relationship with them. And then when you see stuff from their
Yes.
point of view of what's happening, it's you do feel like, okay, I believe you because I know you. And whereas you're seeing something on TV that's produced for
Yeah. Yeah.
or something that's made for views, or just
Mm-hmm.
to sell ad
Clickbait
space.
news stories.
Exactly. They don't care. It's not about the news story. It's just about you clicking and reading it, or
Yeah.
just something sensational to like catch your eye. Then you can be weary of it. But if it's coming from like
Yeah.
your friend, and they're literally recording something that's happening to them right now in real life, in real time, it definitely hits different, I think. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's crazy. It's just a crazy time, crazy stuff that's happening.
It's a crazy time to be alive. My husband has said that over the past 2 years so many times, that it's a crazy time to be alive.
What is happening to the world? But yeah, it's the last week and 2 days have been just, I've just been doom scrolling nonstop.
I know.
I know
I'm
I
just glad
shouldn't.
you
I
were
know I
willing to
shouldn't.
come on too.
Oh yeah,
That's what
definitely.
I
And
told you a couple of times.
we've had this planned way before. This wasn't, um, we were supposed to do this a long time ago, but
I know.
I can't not mention it, but I also don't,
Yes.
you
And you
know,
and you shouldn't have to not mention it.
oh yeah,
I think that's
definitely. It's just,
it's part of the world we live in right now.
and
So we can't ignore it. No heads in the sand.
100%, 100%. It's, yeah, but yeah.
Well, check out if you guys are listening in, especially if you're watching the replay. I do post this on YouTube if
Okay.
anyone doesn't know. But if you're watching this on YouTube, hello. And be sure to head to Anna's Instagram page at The Knotty Boss. Check her Instagram highlight reel stories. And there is a specific story with a specific highlight reel with ways that you can support Ukraine right now. Through donations, purchases, different things, lots of different things.
And if you're part of this maker community, there's a lot of makers that have been, creating fundraising events, or donating part of their proceeds from, oh my goodness, so many
pattern sales.
It's very, it feels good to see, other makers support this, and like my friend Sasha Snaggin Snout, I see the comment she commented like forever ago, but then she's donating 50% of all her proceeds from her like jewelry sales to help Ukraine. I can't remember a specific charity, but there's plenty of
highlight
others.
Reel.
Oh yes, I'm gonna
yeah.
But yeah, highlight reel. So
yes,
keep an eye out.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm just checking my time. We have plenty of time.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, so we didn't talk about this at all, but when did you learn how to crochet?
I learned how to crochet it was like it was like December 2016. So I say like beginning 2017.
Okay.
So it's been what, 5 years? So it's been about 5 years.
So not too long. I mean, this wasn't like you learned how to do it when you were a little kid. I think that's
I learned how to knit. My grandma and my mom taught me how to knit when I was young, still in Ukraine. But I would knit every, a couple of years. I kind of pick up needles and yarn and make something pretty simple. And then, but it was never like a hobby that I just continued with all the time. And then somehow on Pinterest, I saw crocheted cacti. And I'm like, I need to try to make this.
One of those.
I want to, like, I need it. But instead of me just buying it, of course, I'm going to try to make it. Why spend $20 or $30 when I can buy $80 worth of yarn and hooks and then spend 7 days,
trying to make this thing
anxiety ridden to try to make something that looks horrible, because obviously.
Do you still have that cactus?
I do. I should probably. I'll post it in my stories after this.
That's good.
It wasn't even a cactus. I mean, it was supposed to be, but it looked like more of a pickle. I don't know. It was just like a oval shaped green thing.
Is it in like was it in like a crochet thing too?
It wasn't,
Like
I didn't
the,
crochet a pot. I just put it in like a regular pot, but it's not attached. So it's now just
oh, that's
somewhere
awesome.
hanging out like
I
a,
see why it would look like a pickle then.
oh yeah,
It's
it's,
just a,
yeah, it's basically just a,
the pickle
an
cactus.
oval. Yeah, an oval. And it, like looking at it now, all the holes in it, you could see the stuffing. Terrible,
Ah,
terrible. It took a while.
but it got you
So,
started, right?
no. And then for some reason, it was just the only craft hobby that never, well, hasn't yet
Yeah,
stopped.
it stuck.
Because I mean, I tried, you know, I'm not that person that like, I'll try any craft that I can, you know,
Yeah.
do here. If I can just get the equipment or the, you know, supplies, why not? Linoleum cutting, sure, you know,
Yeah.
like I used to sew purses. I mean,
Oh,
I
that's cool.
attempted, it was
Yeah.
all over the place. There was no rhyme or reason. And then crochet came along and I'm like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
And it
didn't
makes
stop
a
yet.
difference when you feel like it's comes pretty natural. I think that's what happened with me because I did the same thing. I wanted so badly to be good at like drawing and painting, and like an art class and stuff, and I was just never happy with it,
No.
you know. I have one painting that is framed that I kept, and it was actually I didn't finish it, but I like left it for years at my grandparents' house because that's where I would paint because my grandmother did painting. And I came back and I found it years later, and she was like, "You never finished this." I was like, "It's good just like it is. Let's frame it." Because I knew I'd never, I'd never be happy with it
Oh
if I
my God,
tried to
yeah.
like finish it.
There's no such thing as like
Um,
finishing something like that, like a
yep,
drawing, a painting. You can keep changing it and adding and removing and
yeah,
everything. So it's not, yeah, that process is
yeah. So
never,
I
it's
stuck it in a
open-ended.
frame. I was like, "This is
Right.
good."
Right.
Um, and I did knit at first, but I never felt the creative freedom with knitting of like creating shapes and things.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really got out of like making scarves and hats. Um, and I've never liked super intricate projects. So, I think with crochet, it came pretty natural. Tension was easy. Like I think that's something you either struggle with or it comes naturally. Um, and so that was a pretty easy, I feel the same way that you do. Like you said, it stuck. It stuck. I felt
Yeah.
good at it. It felt,
Yeah. You figured it out.
um,
Like you can see things.
exactly.
That's how I felt. I'm like,
Yes.
even knitting. I mean, you know, I been knitting for a you know, majority of my life now, but again, like you said, I can't really do much besides something more simple, although I did just get a kit to make my first knit cardigan, so we'll see how that
Ooh.
goes.
And who did you order from?
We Are Knitters sent me
Yeah.
a kit, so I'm like, all right, I'm like, this, I'll have to finish it now, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's
Semi-confident,
exciting.
but you know, I got like a beginner level, obviously,
Yeah.
one, so we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
but with crochet, you know, after a couple of tries, you kind of start visualizing and start seeing it. Oh, if I want to make this, I should do that. If I want to, you know, the shape to
Hmm.
go this way, I need to do this. And it clicked. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's it. That's all that needs to happen.
Yeah. I feel like knitting designers, it's like this, untouchable thing of like, I don't know how you do it,
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
like, no, that's not
mystery.
it. Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I look at things just like, how long do they even take? And it seems like they do it
Yeah.
so quickly too.
I know.
And they don't
Yeah.
use up as much
Yeah.
as yarn as crocheters, which
Yeah.
that
It's a
gets me.
mystery.
I know.
I know. Well, and that was most of my designs were inspired, like all of my chunky cardigans and sweaters were inspired by chunky knitwear because I feel like all of the knit cardigans that I wanted to make, it was all knitting. All the
Mm-hmm.
crochet stuff was like lacy and summery and, not made with super chunky yarn. And so I was like, well, I don't really want to get better at knitting. I just want to turn these into crochet patterns.
There you go. And now you're the chunky yarn lady. That's like, that's your thing. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. And you have been doing, someone just brought this up. You've been doing some great crochet tips in your reels. And I noticed that too. How has that been going? Are you enjoying making them?
I
Like,
do. I don't know how it happened. I posted a video of just me making something, not, you know, not a tutorial or anything. And then somebody commented on the way I do a magic ring. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just
mm-hmm.
make a reel of that.
Yeah.
And then like it's the only reel that did really well for, like, it had a lot of views. So I'm like, people seem to be enjoying this.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, let me do this like tip thing and see how it goes. And I've done it for the
That's
last couple of
great.
weeks. And so far, although I'm running out of tips soon, I don't know how long I can keep this going. I'll be honest. I don't have that many tips. I should have done it like a tip a month, maybe not a weekly tip. I
Yeah.
might have overestimated my skill level, but we'll see. But I have a couple of you know, ideas of what I want to show next. But if people have any suggestions, by all means, let me know. If there's something specific that you want to know, I'll try to.
I love the one about the edges where like you go through that different stitch at the end. I've already tried it. So I am putting the tips to good use.
That's awesome. That's
very
my
cool.
favorite. I've been sitting in it for so long and I forgot about it because a lot of my crochet is in the round. So I don't get to use it a lot.
Too.
And then something I made that was turning around. I was like, oh, I should probably post this. And I'm glad that people are finding them helpful. That's the main goal. So we'll see.
Someone said tips on different ways to attach tags. There we go. Okay.
Why am I not coming up with this myself?
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you something. What is something that you're currently working on now? It could be crochet, it could be tags. Like what are some things you have in the works?
So I actually just posted right before our live, like a little sneak peek at the next set of printables that I want to, I'm releasing it. I can't tell you when because I have no idea. It was supposed to be today. To be honest,
so I feel.
on my little planner it says this Friday, but
that's
not happening. So probably next week.
Okay.
But Easter themed because people have been asking for like Easter, and I also want to do just like a generic spring themed printables, which are usually just like the cozy. I try to do the theme. I mean, ideally, I would love to make all my printables themed, but that's not gonna ever happen.
Yes, and that's a lot.
There's a lot. And like my printables, it's not just, you don't just get like one thing. I usually add different variations and sizes. So it is a lot to like, and plus not all printables are very popular. You know, there are certain things that like there's certain things that only a couple of people might buy throughout the year. So I feel like it might not be worth making everything, but I feel like the cozies and anything that's small that can be gifted, like hair ties and things like that, you know, that makes more sense. So that's what I'm trying to do with themes. But maybe I'll make an option in my Etsy to do like if you want to make something themed, you know, like a customization, and then
I still haven't gotten to show you, and I bet you they're not even over here. Let me see. Oh, we're gonna see. Are they still in here? Of course they're not still where they were. I needed to show you the worry cats because I have a few people who make those all the time. And I feel like that would be a cool collaboration because it's just like your pocket hugs, but it's a little, it's just a little cat face that you crochet. It's teeny tiny and you can like felt the back if you want to. But they're meant to be, I made them because a friend of mine lost her cat and you don't know what to get someone. Like you're like, I feel like I should get you something, but you know, and there's like really cute little cards that are very sweet. And I was like, I don't know. And I don't want to spend $30 on someone that I don't really know that well to get her like some kind of engraved name tag thing, you know, because there's a lot of stuff on Etsy, but if you're not that close with them. And so I made this little like pocket kitty, and it's just like, keep it in your pocket, you know, and think about your kitty, you know.
That's funny because I just did a custom tag for like an Etsy customer for I forget the title that she called it, but it was essentially for like dogs, like the same thing that you made, but they were a little paw. She called it paw something. Maybe perfect hugs. But it's like perfect, but it's PAW. And they were in a similar, you know, kind of like pocket hug, but specifically for like remembering your dog, your pets. So
and we could link a pattern. So like I could link your labels on my pattern page, and you could link the pattern. So it would be like
I love doing that. So
I'll send you that.
Any of my friends or whatever, if you're, you know, if you're coming out with a pattern or something that like I don't have a printable for, and you think it's something that might be, you know, useful for people, let me know, and
Yeah.
we can do some kind of a collab where, you know, I'll make your pattern, I'll make my tags, we'll link to each other's things. And because there's
Yeah.
some patterns, if you, or some of my printables, if you buy, they'll have a link on the cover, or, you know, or it'll tell you like
Mm-hmm.
where the pattern is from, because a lot of the times I will use other people's patterns just
Yeah.
for the item that I'm, you know, using the tags on, because let me
Oh,
know.
and that means there's one more I'll show you. I don't think, do you have one for like rings? So like crocheted rings? I'm taking you on a journey. Let's see if I
Please,
can find them in here. I think they're in here. Let me see. Okay, I have these drawers full of just like, it's not garbage, but it kind of feels like it's just like my garbage stuff that I'll never sell and I hang on to because I feel like I shouldn't get rid of it. Okay, I have to be getting close. This looks like I'm getting close. Oh, yep. Okay. I still don't know where the worry cats are. I had some of those, but I did find the rings. Okay, so I made my own printables for these back when I first started making them because I was selling them in a little, a little handmade shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's the same situation. A lot of people, I have a feeling, come to you and they're like, oh, now I need to make this look really professional. And so this is what I did. All right, so I called them friendship rings because they were just little.
Oh, super cute.
But this was my old logo and it just said hand crocheted friendship rings and I just tied the little string up there. So it's just one big,
that's perfect,
you know, piece. And on the back I had put my info, you know.
This is awesome.
And it was like I did $15 for these little rings, you know, at a little shop, and they found this little thing.
I'm writing this down.
Right. I'll have to write the pattern up for them because I don't have it, but this is how, you know, they like stacked them up on this little thing, and they're pretty stretchy, you know, so like they fit a lot of different ring sizes because it's embroidery floss or embroidery thread.
Okay.
But it's just single crochet, so it actually stretched, you know, to fit quite. But I was like, that's really, you know, it was fun, and I don't know how many people do that, but
I mean,
it's like BFF rings for summer, you know. It's a great summer
do that with bracelets too, and it's a nice item to add to markets if you have some scrap yarn. I mean,
oh, here you go. So that's what I did. I just folded them and poked little holes.
Perfect.
I totally forgot about those. There we go.
That's
See
awesome.
The things that happen on lives.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely. Because I think, and I like posting, you know, ideas for people who do markets, because that is my, most of my customer base for obviously printables, just to give ideas of something that you can make really quick with really little yarn. And that's something that you can, you know, add to your market list of products that might be something on like the low cost side, because I also feel like at markets there's some people who might not necessarily be able to afford something a little bit more pricey, but I think a lot of times that people that do go to these craft shows, they still want to buy something. And
something.
Exactly. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't really have interest in a lot of these things, but I would want to buy just something little, and this would be one of those like little things that you never know. Like
I think I still have some embroidery thread from when I made these. So if I can I'll see if I can whip up like a free pattern like on my blog, because that'd be easy, and like maybe a video or something, like, because I've been trying to do my YouTube channel. So I'll see if I can do that, and it's so funny because that goes from like my biggest hooks to like the smallest hooks I've ever used to do the embroidery ones. I can't even remember what I used. It had to be like a 3 or smaller or something crazy. Like because it's the embroidery thread.
It should be like 1 millimeter hook you should be using.
Maybe it was. It's super tiny. I know I have them somewhere. I need to find them now. But we'll do that. That'll be on the list because we still have at least like, we still have some time before it gets into like the bulk of summer. So, but that'd be fun.
I know. I love that. Oh my goodness. And when you have time, find the cat thing, and then you can send me a picture, and then we can talk about
I will say, because that is done. That is actually already on my Etsy shop. And I think it may be, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I think it's going to be in one of the Happily Hooked magazines coming up. I think they're featuring that one soon. I don't know which one, but that's cool. That's been fun. I like working with them. They're cool.
That's fancy stuff.
I try, you know.
I want to be published.
Yeah, well, and now I'm like, man, I just wish they were like an actual physical magazine, because I'm like, that would be hanging on my wall.
I would buy like 1,000 copies just in case.
Yes. And I know. I'm like, now I need to find one that actually prints out the printed magazine because I want to be able to have like a published, in a book or a magazine or something cool. One day,
Next
big
step,
goals.
next step. I believe in you. I believe in you. But yeah, so I was going to say about
Thanks.
printables, if anyone has specific ideas or, they think
Mm-hmm.
there's an item, something that, maybe not super specific to what you make,
Yes.
but something more generic, if there's any printables that, people might find useful or helpful that I don't have yet, because I know there's many. I
Like
mean, I
I
have
loved your cotton ball ones that
that
you
was,
just posted
that was
about.
all,
That's super cute.
and I'm telling you, that design, those printables were finished months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Liana sent me the little cotton balls themselves because I'm like, I'm never gonna have
Oh,
time to make them. So she's like, I'll just send you the finished ones. Which I also, there's
that's
been a couple of
awesome.
times where other makers, we would do like a little collab where they would send me the product and I would do the tags because I'm like, I'm never gonna do this tag because I'm never gonna make the item
If you
itself.
don't, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so if you want a tag, a good way is to just send me the I'll send it back because I don't need them. Because I always tell people, like, if
Yeah.
you send it, I'll send it right back. I don't have room
Yeah.
for storing it, but I
Yeah.
also don't have time to
Yeah.
make it. But I have I always keep everything. I have like a giant list of like printables
Oh
and
my
stuff.
gosh.
This is how I work. Everything's on paper. But
Me too.
there's
Yeah.
it like never ends. There's always so many things people request, but I'm like, and I want to do it
That's
all of
great
them.
though. That is good because it keeps you. I was going to ask you, we're out of time now, but I was going to ask you about like inspiration, but it sounds like that's a big part of that. Like
Yeah.
staying inspired is really just listening to the community and finding out what their needs
Whatever
are.
most people ask for is what I try to do
Yeah.
next. It's like if the 20 people ask me for this, all right. If like one person asks for that, I'm like, I'll wait for this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
It
much
was
for
so
coming on
fun.
today. We will definitely do another one. I
Please.
feel like this was great. And if you want to do one on your channel, let me know. Like we
Yeah.
can do a chat on your channel
But then I
too.
have to host. That means I have to keep the conversation going. I don't know if I can do
Oh
that.
no, don't worry. I don't think that's going to be a problem with us
Okay.
because we, quickly got over time and had plenty more that we could have talked
All right.
about.
Well then, yeah.
So
Let's definitely. I'm gonna have to bother you about it. We're gonna have to set something up. It'll
yes,
be my
no, and
first
we have
official.
plenty to talk about too with
Yes.
the
Everything.
BFF rings and the worry cats. So we'll be in touch very very
I'm
soon,
excited.
probably today.
Definitely today.
And I know, like I said, I'm trying to do a live at least once a month. And I have at least 3 new people that I haven't talked to lined up over the next, couple of months. But once I get through, because I try to reach out, some people just don't want to do it. Like they're shy, they don't want to come on lives. But once I kind of run out of new people, I want to start revisiting people that have already come on that were, it was very easy to have conversations with and just do like a coffee and chat, and just see what's happening, like what's
I already
new,
have
what's
the
going
coffee.
on. Yes, same. I ran out. I've had a couple times where I go to
I
sip
ran
it and
out
I'm
too.
like, I'm going to pretend like there's coffee in
I'm
here
done.
because I don't want to look silly. But yes, I think that would be great. We'll have to do this again. And I will put, like I said, I will put this on YouTube, but it'll also be here on IG. So if you're joining in late and you want to rewatch the whole thing, it should be uploaded soon. And I'll also, share in stories and all that fun stuff. But Anna, it was so good getting to chat with you. We're going to do
So
it
much
again.
fun. Thanks for everyone for joining. I couldn't see anyone's comments, but I
Yes,
will go back and read all
that's
of them.
okay. It's a skill. Like I usually on these kinds of lives, I tell people to use the question box because of that, because it is
Oh,
hard
okay.
to like scroll through.
Mine just stopped scrolling. I have I can't, there's nothing. It was just, that's it.
Maybe we were on here too long. Instagram glitched out.
Always. There's always
I
something.
don't know. Love Instagram so much.
Sometimes. All right.
All right. Well, we'll talk soon. Have a great rest of your day and have a
You
great
too.
weekend.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.